I'm Chris with Metters, Musings, Toys, Tech, and more, here with a review of this awesome build. This is the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium, of course, from Return of the Jedi. This is part of LEGO's new Summer 2015 Star Wars sets. This is set 75094, 937 pieces, includes 5 minifigures, so let's get right to this review. So the very first thing we're going to take a look at are the 5 minifigures you get with this set. First up here we have Han Solo in his Endor gear, of course. You got his nice long type trench coat that kind of blends in, goes right into the legs there. Sadly, there is no side printing or no printing on the legs on the back that would really complete that jacket. But Han Solo, a really cool figure, and yes, you do get a dual face right there. He's kind of got his stern look, and then you got a kind of smirk, kind of smile on the other side. Next, we have Han's good friend Chewbacca, and this is a new printing for him, and I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of this Chewbacca. He's got a lot of light in the face and kind of a little bit of light kind of fur on the legs there. To me, it really doesn't work all that well. I mean, I like the kind of lightness. I know what they're kind of going for there, but you know, it kind of works better either as all one color or maybe a couple little streaks of that light kind of brown through the face. But there we go, a new Chewbacca. Next, we have Princess Leia and her Endor uniform, and she's got this camo kind of poncho. She does have a little cookie there. If you've watched Return of the Jedi, you know she feeds Wicket, the Ewok there. She, of course, also has a double-sided head, and she's got some nice printing on her torso and all the way through to the back. Then we get 2 Endor Rebel Troopers. They both have the same printing on the legs, but they have different torso printing and different faces. The heads are the same. They are not double-sided heads, just the one expression for the one and one for the other. This one, of course, here, he doesn't have any kind of facial hair, whereas the second one is that older type trooper. I remember him vividly from the Star Wars movies. I don't know why, but he is just a character I just remember. And of course, you got the nice face printing there and on the back side there. So a really cool couple of Endor Rebel troopers. As far as accessories go, you have this little holder here to hold a couple of blasters and the backpack for one of the Endor Rebel troopers if you'd like. I'll show you where that connects inside the shuttle when we get to that. You've also got this big yellow crate here with a couple of detonators on the inside. Really, really cool. Again, this goes inside the Shuttle Tydirium, and again, I'll show you that in detail when we take a look inside. So here is a look at the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium, and as you can see, this looks really nice. I am really, really happy with this build. It is very, very solid. It has a lot of playability. If you are playing with it, you don't have to worry about it breaking. It is very, very solid. I can move it back and forth here. Nothing feels like it's going to snap off. Of course, we can't open the cockpit right here. We can get a couple minifigures in there. You can have Han Solo and Chewbacca flying this thing. Now, the top here, when I first put it together, it actually did stay open when I lifted it up. Sadly, now it just doesn't seem to want to stay up. It just wants to close automatically. That really is too bad that it doesn't want to stay up. Sometimes it will, but most of the time it just wants to close. If we're taking a look at the shuttle as well, if we look on the underside here, you have a couple of legs here, the landing gear, and those just move in and out. So you have it on when it's fully extended like that, it can land, it can stand up really, really nice. And then when you're flying it, you just push them to the back there and they kind of go in a little bit, and there we go, that's the typical flying mode. Of course, underneath as well, you have this little hatch right here that can be the stairs. It's trying to replicate, that's where you would enter, you take in your cargo, take out your cargo, that's where everyone would kind of go in to load up the ship. Sadly, even when it's down like that, you're not going to be able to fit a minifigure in there, so it's more just to look appropriate for the Shuttle Tydirium. Taking a look at the shuttle itself, it's got a couple of cannons here on each side. Those will move up and down, and it does have a couple on the wings. Now, if you move the wings down into their lower position for the flying, you will see that these cannons right here also move up and down. So there is some nice playability right there. Of course, when it is in its flying position, it looks really cool. It's got that nice kind of triangle frame. This is one of my favorite ships from all the movies. I love the AT-AT and I love the Imperial shuttles. I think they just look really cool. The Imperial vehicles, ships, everything, they look far better than the Rebels ever had. So I love this one. As you can see here, it's got it's fairly big. I mean, it's not really that small and it's not overly big. It's not as big, of course, as the UCS one, but it is really, really cool. Also here along the front, you'll see they have these green launching missiles. You can actually push a little button here on the side and it blends in really, really nice with the ship, so it's not really that obvious, but you push that and it fires those off really, really well. And you've actually got a couple extra of those missiles inside the shuttle itself. Sadly, when it is in this flying mode like this, you cannot put it down on the table. So if you have it in this position, which I think looks the best, you are going to have to be holding it, unless you want to build like a Lego stand, you know, something that could come down and you could stand it up and display it like that. So the wings itself, they are very nice. They just click up and down like this. It only goes to this level like this, and then it clicks back up if you want to put it in its landing position. Again, it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. It's very well built, very, very sturdy, and that's what I like about this. It offers a lot of play value. You can go around and you can fly this around, pretend you're flying it around, flying these guys onto Endor to try to help save the Rebels, destroy the Death Star #2, and you don't really have to worry about breaking it. Now, of course, if you dropped it, that's another story. Yeah, it will smash into probably a million pieces, but it is sturdy, it's nice, it's got a lot of play value here. If we take a look around the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium, you can see here when the wings are up, you can see the underside. It's not smooth like it is that top sail piece. Sadly, it kind of does look all Lego-y, but you know what? It's Legos. It's supposed to kind of look like that. It would be nice, you know, if they used some of those pieces here all the way across down just to make it nice and smooth and such, but you know, that would add up in price. Along the back, it's got a really cool look with the trans clear blue pieces there. So here you could have it, you know, you could just fold the wings down like that if you wanted to display it a little bit differently, but you know, it just doesn't look right. You either should have them folded up or folded all the way down. Like I said, you could make some kind of stand to stand it on, so if you have the wings fully down, then you display it really, really nice. And this piece is really, really nice for displaying. It'll look nice on a desk, on a shelf, somewhere if you're trying to display them. But like I said, there is a lot of play value in this one. Now, another cool thing with the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium is it's got these little sides here, these side hatches, and they pull out and up, and then you can get to the inside. It does it on both sides. Now, on the one side here, you do have another slot for another one of those green missiles, and you have a couple of seats in there. Along the other side, again, you have another spot where it's holding another one of those missiles, and it's actually got only one seat, and that's because it has the jumper piece right there, and that's where that yellow container goes. It snaps on right there perfectly. Then you can have one figure sitting beside it. There is another jumper here on the one side beside it. You could put that backpack piece, the holder right there. If you had a couple extra pieces, you could build another one to put right there. But on the other side, when you're building it, the instruction manual says to put that piece, the holder of the blasters and the backpack, on this jumper piece right there. So that's where it goes, and then you've got a couple of extra chairs there for a couple of those, a couple more of your figures. If you want, you could put Leia and one of the troopers there, or you could put both troopers and Leia on the other side. Taking a closer look on the inside, you can see there on the inside you do have a sticker on a piece right there. It looks like a picture of Endor. Really cool looking type map, and you can kind of see there the Death Star #2 up there in the sky. So a lot of little cool. It is kind of a cramped area on the inside, but I mean, with the figures you get, it works perfectly. It's just a perfect fit for all the figures. You got 2 in the cockpit, and you got 3 figures sitting there in the back. They fit very, very nicely. Of course, if you wanted to have more figures, well, then you know it's going to get a little cramped, and they're really not going to have much room in there with that crate and then the holder with the blaster and the backpack goes. But again, when you have all the guys in there, those side hatches, they just fold down nicely and you get a nice finished look. One of the first things you'll notice about this set is when you open the box, you do get 6 bags. And you know, it's not an extremely hard build. It took me just over a couple hours to build it completely, but it's not an overly difficult one, so that's really cool. What I really like is this instruction booklet. It's bound right there. It's really just one nice book, easy to go through. The pictures, of course, like you'd expect from Lego, really, really simple to follow. But I really like this instruction booklet with the bound, all just one, not broken up into a couple of other little tiny books. Overall, I love the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium. As I mentioned, it's one of my favorite ships from the original trilogy. I just love it. Sadly, I don't have the UCS. That one's a little too pricey for me right now, but I think Lego did a really great job shrinking it down into more of one that you can play with on an everyday basis. I think the figures included are fabulous. I'm not a huge fan of the Chewbacca, but you know what? It's okay. I think you get 5 really good ones. Some people are saying maybe you should have Luke in his Endor outfit, but you know what? You get Luke with the new Death Star, the final duel. I have that set. I'll be building that one soon and reviewing that as well. So these are a couple of the sets from the Return of the Jedi. I love that movie. Empire is still my favorite. The AT-AT's still my favorite, of course, but this one is a close second. I just love this ship. I love having it. I can't wait to display it beside my Death Star and, of course, the AT-AT. I think if you're a huge Star Wars fan, if you love Return of the Jedi, I think you should pick this set up. It is wonderful. Like I said, it's a really fun build. You get some great figures. It is a lot of playability. I think it's well worth the value. Here in Canada, it is $120. In the States, it's $100. So it is a little bit on the pricey side, but again, a fun build, a lot of fun. You can play with this and you don't really have to worry about it breaking. So I highly recommend this set, the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium from the new Summer 2015 wave Star Wars Lego sets. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be appreciated. It does help me grow this channel. Also feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this build? Is it one of your favorites? Are you excited about it? Do you have it? What do you think? Was it an easy build, hard build? What do you think of the figures? Let me know in the comments. Are you excited about this new 2015 wave of these Star Wars sets? Let me know which ones you are thinking of picking up. Also feel free to subscribe. That way you're not going to miss any future videos here on Metter's Musings, Toys, Tech, and more. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.